Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to say something really quickly. I know you could probably hear my laundry going. I have to wash laundry. I need to wash laundry because like this and like one other shirt is all I have. I mean, I'm just exaggerating, but still I need to wash clothes. So today I wanted to talk about my first experience of waxing, and specifically leg waxing. I know maybe a month or 2 months ago, I don't remember how long ago, I talked about when I first got my first Brazilian waxing and everything, and I think that everybody pretty much liked it, I hope. And I want to talk about leg waxing. So I'm not gonna go and talk on and on and on in the intro, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you what happened. Okay, so I went to the same place I get my Brazilian waxing, and the first time I went to get my leg waxed, I hadn't shaved for maybe 2-3 weeks, around there, I want to say. You also have to let your leg hair grow about a good length, not like just like you just shaved and then you went and waxed 2 days later. No, you have to give it about 2 weeks of hair growth to go. When I made my appointment, I just did it with whoever. I didn't do it with that girl because I was like, I'll just go ahead and do it, like whatever. And I actually think I did a walk-in. I think I did a walk-in. And so I went to the back with the lady. I didn't know who it was. And so when the lady got there, she was telling me, oh, you came to get your leg waxed, but listen. She had a very thick Brazilian accent. Like, she sounded like she didn't know any English, which was a bit bummy because that's my first language, and I don't think Brazilian is the same as Spanish. I'm not really sure. Don't get mad at me. And so I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, do you want half of your leg or all of it? And I'm just like, I'll do half of it and I'll see if I want to continue. She's like, oh, okay. Right there was the first problem. I don't think she understood what I was saying. I think she understood I'm gonna do all of my legs. So I wanted to just do the top part of my legs because that's typically where it's not typically the smoothest. And sometimes, you know, since I can't reach all the way back there, there's a few hairs left there, and then I'm like, I'm okay with the bottom of my legs. So that's what I intentionally wanted. So instead of the hard wax, they actually use the soft wax, which is they lay it all up on you, like, but they do big sections, which I don't recommend. I recommend for you to tell them to do small sections. Unless you have a high tolerance of pain, then yeah, do the big sections, go ahead. So she did like my entire thigh, like just put all the wax on there, and that's when they use the cloth strips, which is where they tear it off, not the hard wax, which they let settle and get tough and then they rip that off. No, this is with the soft wax, and then they use those sheets. So I was ready. I mean, yeah, of course I was a bit nervous, but I was like, if I can handle my cooch getting waxed, I can handle my legs. So she puts the first strip on, and then she goes to tear it off, and I swear, I have never felt anything more excruciating. Actually, my tattoo was pretty hurtful and my cramps are pretty tough too. I don't know, but that was just so painful. Like, I felt like she was ripping my skin off, and the whole entire time just like you have to act like you're tough, you know, like you have to be just like that's what you have to do the entire time. You have to suck it up. It's because she didn't know what I was saying, and then she was just like, she was just doing it. Like, I mean, of course, yeah, do your job or whatever, but then, you know, eventually she was like, she started to go past my knee, and I'm like, okay, I guess maybe they'll do my knee. But then she started to do the rest of it. My thighs, yeah, it hurts pretty bad. But when it comes to the bottom part of the leg, oh my goodness, that is even worse. I don't know why. I have no idea why that part hurts more. When I talked to the girl that does my Brazilian wax, she told me that it's because it's closer to the bone, and then the thigh is more meat, so it hurts more close to the bone. And I'm just like, I don't know, it just hurt. It was painful. Like, there are no words to describe it. Like, I don't even know how to explain how painful it is. Like, you could feel it tearing off of your skin. Like, you can hear it and you can feel it. And then so she started to do the bottom of my leg, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I might as well just do my entire leg. She already did it. And so she did, and then she even did my toes, which I kind of appreciate that. So I'm laying there, and then she does the other leg, which, I mean, she kind of had to like rage over on me. So that was done, but I was like sweating, like it was awful. Like, I'm gonna keep saying it, but it was so painful. And so after that, they do the front part, then they tell you to flip over. So when I flipped over, there was like a greasy, sweaty, nasty stain of my bottom half. That's how bad it was hurting. Like, you could see the sweat on the paper, and I was like, oh my gosh. And that day I wore makeup. Yep, I wore makeup, like foundation and everything. So when I flipped over, I put my arms like this because I didn't want to put it on the paper. And then she started to do the back, and I told him, like, listen, it's kind of hurting, so can you do smaller sections? She's like, smaller? And I'm like, yeah, please, it's really hurting. She's like, okay. So she puts it all on the back of my leg, and I'm like, okay, maybe they do that so they don't have to keep applying and keep applying. So then I feel her, you know, do a small section, and it was less painful. I'm telling you, less painful if it's small sections. I feel like that makes it kind of hurt less because it's less painful. And then, you know, maybe if you want to do bigger strips because you want to go ahead and do it, get it over with, but it's like, no, I can't do that. I need small strips. So then all of a sudden, you know, she's doing the small strips, and then maybe like 5 strips after that, she starts going back to doing the big ones, and I'm like, oh my god, please stop it, you're killing me. And so I'm over here biting the crap out of my hand, and I knew that she could see my butt cheeks clench. I was like, like, it was just like that. And so after she did the top part, she starts doing the bottom part, which I was expecting it for it to be even worse. So because, you know, it was just hurting worse on the bottom of my legs. But then it didn't hurt as much. It kind of hurt like if it was like my thighs, which, I mean, it was still painful, don't get me wrong, but it didn't hurt as much as the front bottom part of my legs. It was I was sweating so bad. And so she started telling, then after she did my legs, she actually started to go like towards my butt, and like almost like wax, like as if I had like a, almost not a thong, but like a bikini sort of. I guess they do that, you know, so it doesn't show your hairy butt, which I know this is TMI, but I have a hairy butt and back. Like, I'm sorry, but I do. And that's why I really don't wear bikinis, because I'm like, people are gonna see my hairy butt and talk shit about me. But anyways, and so she started doing that, and I was like, are they gonna charge me more or what? So they didn't, which it turns out that they only charged me for half of my leg. So half of your leg is 25 where I go, and then for like both it's 45. So I paid, and then I asked them, like, okay, so what's the aftercare and everything like that? And they're like, oh, well, you know, you just exfoliate your legs a little bit to let it grow out naturally and everything. And then I'm like, okay, so when do you usually come back? And they're like, oh, typically about 4 to 6 weeks. I'm like, what? 4 to 6 weeks, just like a Brazilian wax? And she's like, yeah, just 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, I didn't say it like that, but you know. She's like, yeah, 4 to 6 weeks. That's typically around the average time people come back. And I'm like, okay. The next day, I didn't, because I usually take a shower the day I go get waxed, and so I took a shower the next day, and I exfoliated my legs, which I use the same exfoliant that I use when I get my Brazilian wax, which is this DoubleTree, or I don't really know what it's called. I get it at Ulta or Walmart. I don't know. It was probably cheaper at Walmart, because I feel like at Ulta it was like $9, and then at Walmart it was like $5 or almost. But you just go to where like the bath salts are, and usually it's around there. And it just shows like body exfoliant, and that's what I use. And I did it like the first 4 baths, you know, and then after that I really don't care. I don't. And then eventually I sometimes do it, you know, but I feel like I mostly take care of after I wax like the first 4 showers or something like that. So now the aftergrowth. It was amazing. I didn't have to seriously shave or anything for like 4 weeks. And I didn't go back to get my legs waxed. I couldn't, I'm not gonna lie. But the only thing I'll say is that just the same as your Brazilian wax, since you were shaving, or I don't know what you were doing, if it was just all natural, then maybe this isn't it's not something that you could relate to. But since when you shave, all your hairs, they don't come out at the same time, you know, it all cuts it at different lengths and everything. So when you go get waxed, you can still feel a bit of stubble, because that is where the hairs that after you shaved were still coming out. So that's why it's gonna feel a bit stubbly. And so if you continuously go, it'll just start to feel smooth, because all your hairs are growing up at the same time. So that's what happened when I got my first Brazilian. It just came out like I said, like in my video, it came out like if I was going bald or something, you know, like hairs here, hair here, hair here, and then eventually the rest started to come out. But now everything grows out at the same time. It grows like, basically it grows just like a chia pet. That's how it kind of reminds me of. So with my legs, I felt a bit stubbly, and so when I had gone to get my Brazilian, I'm like, oh, I went to go get wax and that thing was painful. And she's like, yeah, it's very painful. Not many people like to do it. And I'm like, yeah, I see. And she's like, well, you know, if you keep coming back and keep coming back, you know, you'll get more used to it. And I'm like, you said that to me about the Brazilian and it still hurts. So I didn't go back to get my full legs waxed. I actually went back because I went on vacation in April, and I just went to go get the back of my legs waxed, like just the back of my thighs waxed, because that's where it's harder to like get. And so she did that, and she kind of, usually the lady that does all my waxing, she always does a bit extra, which I'm so grateful for. And so she did that, and usually she already does like the bikini wax almost when you do the Brazilian, so I didn't have to worry about like my upper thighs or anything, just the rest of them. And so it worked out pretty great because I didn't have to shave the back of my legs. But I haven't done it. Those are the only 2 times I've ever done it. And for the back of my thighs, I got charged $10. And yeah, that's really the first times and how it is when you get your legs waxed. If you have a high pain tolerance, then you probably can do it. Because my sister does, but she still hasn't done it. I've been trying to convince her and she still doesn't. Like, you need to do it. And I don't have a high pain tolerance. Like, I cried when I got my tattoo. Like, the beginning of it, I was like, you could see little tears coming out. And so I don't think I'd do it again. Maybe just the back of my thighs, if I'm being honest. I think I'd just do that. But I can't do my entire legs. I don't think I can. Maybe if I'm like really up for it. But other than that, no. So yeah guys, that's my whole leg waxing experience. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.